Even if you know the Goldilocks effect, you're still impacted when making a buying decision by the Goldilocks effect. It's done for a reason. That's why the best of the best do it. Most importantly, if you're not using it today, you need to start today. If you're struggling with pricing, this episode's for you. Today, we're going to talk about the Goldilocks effect, the process of pricing right to make more profitable sales. It's also the technique billion-dollar companies are using every day to keep growing and scaling their businesses. Hey, Madeline.
Hey.
So today we're going to, after we got through the Goldilocks effect of which chair you were going to sit in today.
I like this one.
I know you do. It fits just right.
Yeah. It's
So-
like the Goldilocks.
That's right. So we're going to talk about the Goldilocks effect. So that is a really cool technique, and it's one that I know that you've put together a great tool that we're going to make available underneath the
Show
in
notes.
the show notes. But and it's an offer stacking template.
Mhm.
But can you lead in a little bit to the Goldilocks effect?
Well, the Goldilocks effect is rooted in a very psychological way of creating offers for your clients. And so I happen to love, and it really truly is like the Goldilocks cartoon. You know, it's too cold, too hot, just right kind of concept, right? And that's why it's called a Goldilocks, is really that. And so it is a psychological way of creating offers for clients that want your product and just anchoring messages in their languages that are able to help them make decisions.
So in that way, so obviously the first and most important thing is the idea is that there's three
Yes.
offers,
Three.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And so in those scenarios, how do you know not necessarily what the offer is, but how you position those offers?
So the way I would do it, right? I mean, first, and I've seen this a lot, and often I wonder how they got to that, right? Because it just doesn't make sense. But the way I like to do them, I like to create fun names for the offers that are relatable to what I'm doing, right? So if from a coaching standpoint and mindset, I'll give you examples of how I do mine, right? So for example, if I'm going to do the A offer, right? And this offer over here is going to be more for the foundational kind of client that wants to come in and wants to kind of dip their toes into the water and see, is it really what I really want to do? Or do I fit this, right? And then, so that one, I would price it anywhere. So it'll have 3 bullet points in there. It'll show them that what they're getting. So they'll probably get like my ebook, my mindset shift, and a consultation call, right? So that one, I will do it anywhere between $199 to $297.
So that would be what you consider as your anchor, right?
That is my anchor.
Right.
Yes. That is the very foundational coming in, understanding, is this what I really want to do?
And it's offering value, but it's not pushing the envelope on immense value yet, because you want to offer some additional things.
Well, it's the value is there, right? It is just not everyone is ready to jump right in, right? They want to try. They want to see if I'm even a good fit for them, right? I mean, I think it's important to understand that. Then the second one, I would be offering, this offer would be anywhere between $999 and $1,497. And people ask, why not $1,500? Well, psychologically, it's not $1,500, it's $1,497.
Right.
Right. And so, we had a conversation recently in which you told me even, when you go from a member, when they have to go home and ask their husbands, hey, I want to sign up for this gym, but does it meet the budget? oh, it's, it's $99 versus is 100. So that threshold, crossing that threshold psychologically, it causes some kind of like hesitation.
Right.
So you want to get it under that.
Gotcha.
Right.
Mhm.
So that's why I say $14.97. And so that one, I'll pack it up with a little bit more deluxe, more punchy, more things that I feel like it's luxurious, but they're not spending all this money. So that would be like a 3-hour coaching with me, one-on-one, an immersive kind of concept for them, because that's how we do business. We do 1-day immersives. And so we will do that in that offer. Also create a community, because everybody wants to be held accountable. And if I can't be available, the community is, so that, so you give them a little bit more value for that. And then the third one is the one that now you're talking between $3,000 and $5,000, which is the real deal, a real punchy one, the one that has all the bells and whistles in there. And I'm not going to go into what it all has, but that is how you want to package it, right? So what it did for anybody, I'm sure, what did it do for you? Tell me.
So before I get into what it did for me,
Okay.
right, is positioning is everything, right?
Absolutely.
And how you're doing this and how it looks and how it feels to that person. So I know you have a story about a website we were looking at the other day where positioning was incorrect and how they stacked the offer was, interestingly enough, the one that offered the best value was actually not positioned where they wanted it to be, and it wasn't priced correctly either.
Yeah, it was.
And one of the things is it's, you're using examples of pricing. It doesn't matter what the pricing is. It has to stack in an order, and then you have to offer it in an order.
Right. It has to speak to the anchoring languages. First of all, you got to use languages such as, like, most clients pick this, if you were to, right? If you are dipping your toes. So those kinds of languages are important to use when you're anchoring those particular offers. But to go back to the website, that was funny because it was weird. It was like the cheapest one was in the middle, and the most expensive one was at first, and then the other one, I just didn't understand the whole thing. And we fixed it, I mean, I couldn't let a friend do that, right? I mean, it was a friend of mine, and I was like, okay, what the heck is going on here?
So when you're working that with clients, right? And when we work with clients on that, the psychological aspect is that you're trying to do, just as you said earlier, this one, it's too cheap. This one's too expensive. This one's just right.
Right. That's correct.
And so a lot of people make the following mistake. Now, if it's just on a website and you're just driving them into a sales page, you still, even though you're leading with all of them at the same time, generally, you're promoting the one to start. And it's usually the one that has everything, right? It's all the bells, all the whistles, because if somebody wants that, you're not going to turn it down, right? You're gonna.
Well, of course,
right? But the logic behind the Goldilocks effect is that they ultimately want to you want to drive them to the one that offers the most value and is most profitable for you, right? So
yeah, and they have to feel too that it's giving an ROI. Right.
Well, it has to. All the products have to give an ROI
for the client.
For the client, right? Yeah, that makes sense too. So my point being is that you're showing them all these ones for the highest priced product that you have, and all the bells and whistles, and then they kind of look at that one, and the idea is, if you want that, that's awesome, but you're giving them a path to say yes, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So, well, you know what? To your point earlier, I'm not exactly ready to really do any of this. I mean, this was just something I wanted to try. So you have an offer for them, but then they look at that and they're like, well, compared to that, this is really doing nothing. And so they fall into the middle.
Right.
And the middle offers the just right component. It gives them the right value, the right return on their investment, and really moves them into the yes without having to really give a great big sales pitch, because they're doing it themselves.
Right. That's why you have to have anchoring messaging on all of those offers, because that's what's going to drive them to the decision making psychologically.
Right. Now, we just talked about websites. The reason why this technique works in all types of sales is even if it's face-to-face sales, you want to have your 3 offers. You want to have the one that you want the Porsche with all this. Well, you know what? I just need a car that gets me to point A to point B.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then you might move them into this other one, right? You might show them this other one. And they're like, well, yeah, but that's like what I drove when I was coming out of college, right? And then they move into this middle one, which just so happens to be
That's a good analogy.
Did
you relate it to that? Did you relate to that?
I just came up with it as we were talking.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You're good.
Thank you. but that's the psychology, even when you're doing it in face-to-face. And, you think about a lot of fitness places, right? And they're all worried that, they're not taking this one with all this. Well, it depends on how you structure it.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And you sometimes wonder, especially in membership sales, what am I getting? What am I getting? Why would I do this? And then ultimately you look at the one that works for you the best and the one that works for them most effectively.
Right. And that's exactly right. People have to feel that they're winning.
Everybody does.
Yeah, everybody does. But you do in this concept, when you use it, it really does work, because you end up, and it's psychological, you do it automatically.
Right.
We do it every single day. It's presented in everything that we go out there and take a look.
Yeah.
Even in real estate. When you have a realtor that knows what they're doing, they will show you 3 homes, and they will show you 3 homes, different prices, different square footage, but they're hoping that you get that middle one, that second one that they showed you that has everything you want within the budget.
Right. So your example is that they first would show you this meets your square footage, but it's in this area, and it's well past your normal budget that you talked about. And then they show you one that's smaller, doesn't have as many, very many amenities, and that one's well within your budget. And then they show you the middle, which square footage has the amenities you want, might be slightly higher than your target, but it's a profitable sale for them. It delivers everything they want. You want as a buyer, and that's how people make decisions. It doesn't matter what the product is or the service.
Right.
That's the thing that the biggest billion dollar companies have figured out. It doesn't matter what the product is. It's the process. When you're buying supplements, right? They stack that.
Oh, they do
that thing, right? Oh, you can get one, or you can get this ongoing membership that does all these wonderful things. And I'm going to throw in this. I'm going to throw in that, and then, well, I don't really want to spend that. And then you come right to the middle. And the middle has everything that you want.
Yep.
And maybe a couple, and then some extras that still make you feel good. So I think that the key to that, one of the key takeaways, is that people buy smart. They make smart decisions based off where you're taking them in their journey of the transaction.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
So I think the other thing is, when you're doing that, a strategic offer builds confidence in who you are and what the products you're offering are. It also gives confidence to your salesperson.
Yes.
Right? Because now they have a true path, right? And we saw that in the fitness studio, right? If you didn't have a true path for them to navigate that customer, it didn't work, right? And then we lost sales. And there's nothing wrong with them taking the intro offer or the low offer. Then you have to do something else. And then you're still going to come back to them.
Yeah, it's whatever fits for them.
And present those things correctly.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned it a couple of times, anchoring the package, right? And really keying in the bullet points. Is there a great number of, when you're putting the values to the offer, is there like a magic number of them as you're building so that it's easy for them to understand? Should it be 3? Should it be then build from there to 5 to 7?
Well, the anchoring message is more like using languages that are going to psychologically help the individual resonate with. Like, most of our clients choose this.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Or if you're ready to make a decision, to change whatever, boom, right?
Gotcha.
Or if you are dipping your toes, then this is the one, which will be the basic one, right? You're just dipping your. So those are the type of anchoring languages that you want to use.
Right.
I'm sure people will go into ChatGPT and figure them out, but you gotta, it's one of those things. So
Yeah. And I think the other thing too is part of the takeaway process here is pricing demonstrates leadership in the process, leadership in the sale. But we as entrepreneurs should not be afraid to price our product or service to maximize.
absolutely, but they want to keep in mind that they must deliver
Well, right.
quality, right?
Right.
Because 3 keys of successfully doing things such as pricing is being able to have price is one of them, but you have to be able to provide a product that is equal as your competition
Mm-hmm.
or better, right? The other one is, do you have the technology to be able to be different than everyone else? And then there's one more. So it's technology, is pricing, and it is convenience. How convenient is it? So in this case would be for coaches, I guess, is how do you separate yourself from everyone else, and how convenient are you going to put me through this process of going to make this transformation right away and all things, right? So are you able to do it online? are you accessible? How convenient are you?
Absolutely. So, to me, the whole thing that we want to finish up with is the importance of, pricing strategies are things that the best of the best do and use. We see them every day. We don't necessarily realize, even if you know the Goldilocks effect, you're still impacted when making a buying decision by the Goldilocks effect. It's done for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the best of the best do it. Most importantly, if you're not using it today, you need to start today.
Right.
You need to start thinking through your offers and utilizing the Goldilocks effect.
Right. And it's funny because even when you become aware of what is going on, you can upsell yourself.
Absolutely.
It's like,
I know somebody
wait
that
a
does
minute.
that every day.
Who's that? Me?
You. Honey, I bought
I
this.
do upsell.
I got a great value.
I did upsell. I always upsell myself,
That's right.
because I feel like I can do better than that.
It's
like,
VIP.
this is
It's
VIP.
VIP or go home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would I do any less?
That's right. So anyway, just to wrap up, we hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you did, we'd be most appreciative if you would share it with someone or a business owner that that might be struggling with their pricing. Also, if you enjoyed this, please leave us a 5-star review. It would mean the world to us. So until next time, thanks for showing up, and let's do it.
Hasta la vista.